Kids, come on up and join me with our kids song. This is where children belong. Welcome this part of the worshiping throng. Water, God's word, bread and cup, prayer and song. This is where children belong. Good morning. What? You took my spot. You did. A couple of weeks ago, we went camping, didn't we? And wow, we were very excited about camping. And when we were camping, my sister-in-law, Aunt Shelley, didn't come. And unfortunately, Aunt Shelley is our camp cook when we go. And so we were missing out on some real good food. And there's something about in the morning when she's cooking breakfast outside, we can smell the bacon and the eggs and the potatoes. And something about it just tastes better when you're eating outside. Is that right? Is that true? I know the grown-ups, you know what I'm talking about. There's something better. It's the same eggs, the same bacon. I could have fried it up. But something about smelling it when you're sitting around the campfire and then you sit and you eat with your family and your friends and your loved ones. There's something about how that tastes. I know, and we missed Aunt Shelley and all that good cooking. You know what it tastes like? Somehow a hot dog tastes better when it's cooked over a fire than if it's cooked in a microwave, right? And it just tastes better when you're outside. And it kind of reminds me, today we're talking about the story of how Jesus feeds the 5,000. And what's happening here is there's like thousands of people that are following Jesus where he's going because they want to hear what this Jesus is talking about. They keep hearing about this Jesus, and they're hearing about these miracles that he's doing, and they just are kind of curious. And so they spend the whole day listening to Jesus, watching him do miracles, and the day is long, and the day is starting to wind down. And I'm guessing they're probably getting kind of hot, and they're kind of getting tired, and for sure they're getting hungry. And in our house, that is a recipe for a meltdown. Tired, hungry, hot. Is that not true, a recipe for a meltdown? What about in your houses? Grown-ups, is that a recipe for being grumpy? Mm-hmm. In our house, that's a recipe for being grumpy. And the disciples are like, Jesus, we don't have enough food, just send the people away, they'll figure it out. And Jesus says, no, we're gonna feed them. And you know what he says? This is the weird thing that Jesus says. Can you guess what he says for the people to do? Can you any guess what you think he tells them to do? He tells them, sit down in the grass. What? He tells them just to sit down in the grass, and he's going to take care of it. And it kind of reminds me, sometimes we can have things that are really hard, things that are really tough in our life, and the last thing we want to do is just sit down and patiently wait. Because you know what I'm not good at? Patience and waiting when things are hard. I want it fixed now. And Jesus says, sit down in the grass. And while they're sitting there, I'm sure surrounded by their friends and their family, they're tired, they're hungry, they're hot. And he tells them, sit down. Just be patient, be at peace, and I'm going to take care of it. And he does. He does this miracle, and he feeds all of them. And sometimes I just want to fix the problem right away. I do not want to sit in the grass. I do not want to wait. But sometimes Jesus just asks me, trust me, I got this. Sit down and wait, and I can take care of it. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this story upstairs because there's there's a lot more to this story that we're going to learn. So we're going to go upstairs. We're going to walk upstairs. Well, I guess that's what we got. Go ahead, Avery. We're going.